Hi, welcome to Bakes and Blenders. I'm Colleen. Today we're going to be going over the basics of how to fill and stack a cake. Specifically, how to fill and stack a one-tier cake. So if you want to learn all my tips and tricks, let's get started. Before you even think about stacking your cake layers, you've got to make sure they're completely cool. Warm cakes will crack easily, they'll cause your buttercream to melt, and your cake will collapse. So I like to let my cakes cool in the pan for about 10 to 15 minutes after I bake them. Then I take them out, put them on a cooling rack for about an hour. At that point, you can double wrap each cake layer in cling wrap and place them in the fridge overnight. Now that they're cooled, we can level the cakes. So I just use a very basic cake leveler. This one cost like $3, I'm pretty sure. And you just want to make sure that your cakes are smooth and flat on top so that your cake structure will be sturdy and strong. You can find links to the products that I've used in the description box below this video. Place your grippy mat in the center of your turntable. This will help prevent your cake from sliding around. Now you can place your cake board on top of that mat. Spread a thin smear of buttercream or chocolate ganache or whatever you're frosting your cake with on the cake board. This is going to help glue the cake to the board. Put your first cake layer bottom side down on the board. Make sure it's centered and then lightly press down to lock it in place. Use a round piping tip or your palette knife to spread a layer of buttercream on this cake layer. Let some of the frosting hang over the edge and then make sure it's all smooth with that palette knife before we move on to the next level. You'll find the recipes used in this video in the description box below. Now that your first layer of cake is down and frosted, we're going to repeat the same steps with your second layer of cake. So put that cake on there, add your frosting, smooth it out. Now it's going to be a little different when we get to your final layer. Place your final layer upside down on top of the previous layer. This is going to give your cake a perfectly flat top while also limiting the number of crumbs you'll need to deal with when you're crumb coating your cake. Now, after this point, if your cake is very soft and unstable, you could chill it in the fridge for about 15 minutes. I almost never have to do that, so otherwise, we'll just get on with it. Use a piping bag, or if you prefer, a palette knife, to apply a thin layer of frosting all over the cake. Start with the top, then move on to the sides. Make sure that you're not mixing any of your buttercream that has all those crumbs in it back into your full batch of frosting. I like to keep a separate bowl, and that's what I use to scrape off my palette knife or my scraper and keep those crummy bits of buttercream separate. Once the cake is lightly covered in frosting, you can use your scraper to smooth the buttercream and remove any excess. Go back in and fill in any bare patches. Smooth and repeat until the cake is completely covered. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you can see more of my videos. Once you've got the sides of your cake well covered and smooth, I like to finish up the top of my cake. So you should have some frosting built up around the top. Use a clean, warm palette knife to bring that excess frosting in towards the center. Wipe your palette knife after every pass, and that's going to help give you good sharp edges on your cake. It's okay if you can see the cake through the buttercream. Now chill the cake in the fridge for about 30 minutes or just until it's firm. Once your crumb coat is chilled, we can apply our final coat of frosting. It's basically the same technique that we used as applying our crumb coat. Just make sure to add a very thick layer of buttercream. It's always better to add too much buttercream because you're going to be scraping it off anyways. I like to use acrylic cake discs to frost my cake. It gives you the super straight sides, the super sharp edges. If you want to see a full step-by-step tutorial on that, you can find a link above and below. Otherwise, you just slap that buttercream on there, scrape it off. When you are just about done smoothing out the sides of your cake, I want you to heat up your metal bench scraper. Use either a kitchen torch or hot water, dry it off if you get it wet, and then scrape the sides of your cake to get a perfectly smooth, beautiful, sleek finish. Congratulations! You have filled and stacked a one-tier cake. I'm so proud of you. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. If you did, please like and subscribe or leave a comment and let me know what helped you the most.